In this tutorial, I'll be demonstrating how you can use Inkscape to create these simple letter logos by constructing them using a letter grid that I'm going to show you how to put together. Before we get started, if you want to learn more about how Inkscape works, be sure to check out my Inkscape Masterclass. It's a collection of over 80 video lessons where we go over all of the tools and features in Inkscape, and I explain what they are and demonstrate how they work, kind of like how I do in these videos. We even have a private community where you can ask questions and get help from me anytime you need it. I'll have some information about that down below if you want to check that out. And with that out of the way, let's get started. So I'm going to move this off the page, and I'm going to start out with the Stars and Polygons tool, and I'm going to choose the polygon option, and I want to make sure I have 6 corners and rounded and randomized both set to 0. So go ahead and pause the video and put those inputs in there if you don't have them set already. And once you have them set, hold Control and Shift and click and drag to draw the polygon. And I'm going to bring my cursor straight up to make sure that the corners of the polygon are going up and down vertically like that. So I'm going to grab my Select tool now. Let's convert this to a path by going to Path, Object to Path. And I'm going to bring down the opacity of this in half. So I'm just going to change this input from 100 to 50. And I'll grab the Nodes tool. And I'm going to take this node up here and press Delete on the keyboard to get rid of it. And then I'll take these 2 nodes and I'm going to hold the Control key and just click and drag this straight up like that. We want this to be elongated vertically like that. We're going to shorten that down momentarily, but for now we need that extra space in there. So let me turn on snapping by clicking on the magnet icon up here in the top right. And I'm going to grab the pen tool, which is located over here. You can also access it with the letter B on your keyboard. And I want to choose this setting up here that says create a sequence of straight line segments. We want to make sure that we are only drawing straight lines. So go ahead and choose that option. And I'm going to snap the corner. I'm going to snap the cursor to the top left corner of this shape and then click. And then I'll hold the Control key and just bring this line straight down like that, where it's going further past to the bottom of the shape, down to about there, and then press Enter to close the path. So let's open up the Fill and Stroke menu now. I'm going to double click this stroke stripe down here. And I'm going to bring this stroke opacity down in half as well. And let's come to the stroke style tab. And I'm going to change this to a larger size just for now. I'm just going to use something like 4. And I'm going to grab the Select tool. And now I want to duplicate this and place this over here on this side. Now, one thing I want to point out, with the way this stroke is placed right now, the edge of the shape is going halfway through the center of the stroke. So we want to make sure that we mimic that on the other side. So with this stroke selected, I'm going to press Command D or Control D if you're on Windows and Linux. And I'll take that duplicate copy and place it over here. Now, if you notice when I placed it, it snapped it to the right edge. I want to snap it to the corner. So let me move that over until it looks like that. Again, we want the edge of the shape going halfway through the stroke like you see there. And with that set, I'm going to hold the Shift key and click on the other stroke so I have them both selected and go to Path and select Combine. And now I'm going to bring the stroke width back down to 1, so let me just enter 1. And now I'll open the Path Effects menu. So I'll come up here to Path and select Path Effects. And the path effect I'm going to choose is Interpolate Subpaths. And for steps, I want to input 8. Press Enter. Make sure you have equidistant spacing enabled, and it should create all of these evenly spaced lines between them. And once that's applied, let's go to Path, Object to Path to finalize that. And I want to make a duplicate of these lines, so I'm going to press Control D or Command D, and I'm just going to move them over here. And I'll click on them again to get the rotation handles, and I'm going to hold the Control key and take this top right arrow handle, and I'm going to rotate this 4 steps counterclockwise, again, while holding the Control key. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you did that correctly, then these lines should be going at the same angle as this shape over here. In fact, if I place it there, you can see it lines up nicely. So let me undo that. Now with these lines selected, I'm going to duplicate them by pressing Control D or Command D. And then I want to flip them horizontally by pressing the H key. So I'll press H, and it's going to flip it horizontally like that. And now let's select both of those groupings of objects, and let's combine them together by going to Path and selecting Combine. And then I'm going to place them right over the center over here, over the center of this shape. And I'm going to zoom in just to make sure everything looks good here. The edge is going halfway through those lines. We want these bottom, where these 2 lines intersect with each other, we want that placed right where the bottom corner of the shape is. And if you go into the snapping settings to make things easier, let me reset to simple snapping settings. If you have the basic snapping settings like you see here, just click on advanced mode and make sure you're looking for path intersections. Enable that. That'll make it easier for you to snap to that intersecting area. Okay, so now I'm going to select the vertical lines that we originally created, and then I'll hold shift and I'll click on the shape beneath them so I have them both selected. And with them both selected, I'll go to the nodes tool, and I'm going to click and drag over these nodes right here, and I'm going to bring them down until they snap to this second line down here. So not this first one, this second one. I'm going to hold Control to make sure it stays on its vertical axis, and then click and drag. And there's that first line, but I want to snap it to the second line. There we go. I'm going to leave that right there, and we'll zoom out. And I'll grab my select tool. Let's click off of it to deselect everything. Now I'm going to take these vertical lines right here, and I'm going to duplicate them again. So I'll press Command D or Control D, and now I'm going to rotate them around 90 degrees. So I'll come up here to this icon that says Rotate Selection 90 degrees clockwise, and I'll click on that. And I just want to hold Control and just click and drag these up here. I want to take this second line. If I move this up, I want to take this second line right here and snap it to the top of the shape. So I'm going to click and drag until it snaps, and there we go. And now we can split these apart because we really don't need them anymore. In fact, we could just go to the nodes tool and click and drag over these nodes right here, and then just press delete on the keyboard to get rid of them. And that's what we need right there. So right now we have our grid in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this inner shape. I'm going to click on that to select it. I'm going to move this to the top, and I'm going to move this over like that. We're going to work with that again in just a minute. But for now, what we're really working with now is this grid. So I'm going to select all of these lines that we just created, and I'm going to combine them together by going to Path, Combine, and I'll make a duplicate copy of them because I'm going to make several copies of this. I'm going to press Control D, and I'll move these over, and I'll zoom in. And now I'm going to go to the Shape Builder tool, which is located over here in the tool menu, or you could just press the letter X on the keyboard, and now we can draw in these areas to create our letters. So for my demonstration, I used the first two letters of the alphabet, which is A and B, so I'll just go with that for this demonstration here. This row, or this column in the center, I'm going to make sure I don't utilize that at all. That's going to be the spacing between the two letters. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm just going to click and drag to go through these spaces to create the letter. And if you make a mistake, just press Command Z or Control Z to undo what you just did. And you can go back and try again. And for the arm of the letter A, I'm going to click and drag through here. So now let's draw the letter B. I'm going to come up here and draw through these lines. And the Shape Builder tool can be a little glitchy sometimes, so if you run into a scenario like what I have here where I'm trying to combine these two segments and it won't combine together, don't worry about it. They can be separate pieces for now. It's not going to matter all that much. And once you're finished drawing the letters, I'm going to go to the Select tool just to finalize that. And I'm going to fill that in with a solid color. I'm going to hold Shift and click the red X over here to remove the stroke. And I'll bring the opacity of this up to 100. And now we have the two letters. So let's work on this shape now. I'm going to grab this shape. I'm going to duplicate that with Control D. And I'm going to snap this right over the top of this. And I'm going to make this white. And let me come over here to the Fill and Stroke menu. I'm going to bring the opacity all the way up. Let me lower that to the bottom. And I'm going to apply a black stroke. So I'm going to hold Shift and click on the black swatch. And I'm going to make the size of that stroke bigger. Let's go with something like 10 for now. Or maybe a little bigger than that, 25. We're going to adjust this in just a moment, so don't worry too much about the size. I do want to pay attention over here where it says Order. I'm going to choose this bottom row, the center option that says Stroke Markers Fill. That's going to place the stroke behind the white fill, which is what we're going for. And once that's set, let's go back to the Path Effects menu, and I'm going to apply the Offset Path Effect. And I'm going to grab the Nodes tool, and I'm going to take this node and just pull this out just to put some padding between the shape or the logo and the edges of it like that. And I'll just bring that out a little bit. I'm going to bring it out a little further than it needs to be. And I'll leave that there for now. So I want the padding around the letters to be the same size as the space between these letters. So to make them consistent, I'm just going to grab the rectangle tool and I'm going to snap to this corner and click and drag and snap to that corner. And let me just make this a different color. Let me get rid of the stroke by holding Shift and clicking the X. And now we have a shape that represents the size of the space between these two letters. And I can take this and rotate this around 90 degrees. And I can snap this to the top of the letters. And now I can go back to this object and go to my nodes tool, and I could just snap that handle right on there like that. And now it is the same. Now it is the same size all around. Now I want to make the stroke the same size or the same thickness as these letters as well. So what I'll do is I'll just make note of whatever the height of this is, because this is the same size as this. The height of this is 44.8. I'll just round up and say 45. I want to make the stroke size double that. So for mine, it's 45. I'm going to make mine 90. So I'm going to come over here to the fill and stroke menu, and I'll change the stroke size to 90. And there we go. Now the stroke is the same size as the letters. Another thing you can do, let me move this over. Let me duplicate this. You can also make this a solid black fill and remove the stroke and make the letters inside of here white. And then you end up with that sort of thing like that. Now, the reason I made a duplicate of that grid is because I wanted to show you something else. With these two letters, it works out really well. The letters A and B fit that grid style really well, but this doesn't always work as well with other letters. For example, the letter M and the letter W is wider than the typical letter, and it's going to take up more columns than these types of letters would. So you'll have to get a little creative with how you use this. I just want to show you as an example, this is how I would go about using the letters M and W. Instead of putting them next to each other, I would put them on top of each other. So let me come over here into the Shape Builder tool again. And now I'm going to draw an M on top and a W on the bottom. So let me start off over here. And that's the start of it anyway. And I would come up top now and I would start to draw the M. Now I can use these lines and these angles to my advantage. So I'm going to fill in these segments right here, and then I'll do the same thing over here on this half. And that's how you would end up with something like an MW. If I go back to the select tool to finalize that, just to give you an idea. So some letters are more complicated than others. You're going to have to be a little creative with how you go about doing this. But just to give you an idea, let me show you how to finalize these designs over here, because right now, this is just a stroke with the path effect applied. I'm going to finalize this by I'm going to select the shape and go to Path, Object to Path. And then I'll go to Path, Stroke to Path. And then I'll go to Object, Ungroup. And then I'll go to Path, Difference. And now all of these objects right here are a single color, and you can just make them be whatever color you want. And then over here, I'll do the same thing, Path, Object to Path, but now I'll take just the two letters right here, the A and the B, and I'll go to Path, Union, and select both of those and go to Path, Difference, and now that is its own object, like that. If you found this lesson useful, then consider checking out my Inkscape Masterclass. It's a collection of over 60 videos where I go over all of the tools and features in Inkscape, and I explain what they are and demonstrate how they work. Kind of like how I did in this video. We even have a private community where you can ask questions and get help from me anytime you want. And best of all, there's no monthly membership fees. You just pay $17 one time and you're in for life. I'll have some information about that down below if you want to check that out. As always, thanks for watching.